Ready? Okay, ready? Okay, so today's update, we have our block is fully machined. It is ready to rock and roll. Our crankshaft, we went down and had it cut. So now basically cleaning up the journals. So the rods and mains are no longer 10 over or 10 under, they are actually 20. Along with the new pistons, they're slightly different weight. So we went and had the rotating assembly completely rebalanced. Aren't these a beautiful thing? I love new pistons. And don't let this dome scare you like it did me, because I was like, oh no, that dome is way too big. I want to be around 10-1. I'm gonna be just a pinch above, but I'm combating that with a little thicker head gasket, so we can get there. So we gotta get this tape off. As soon as the tape's off, we can put our freeze plugs in, cam bearings in, and file fit the rings, which is a little boring, but it has to be done so it doesn't burn oil again, because we don't want to do that. At this point, we got some fresh parts to start playing with and get this thing going. We're gonna get this on the engine stand, get the balance of the paper off, put the pistons in and the crankshaft, and this is gonna be a completed short block by the end of the day. All right, after a long, arduous film production, I'll call it, we have spent all morning and a portion of the afternoon here taking the engine block from this bench and now having it onto this stand, and it is a long task and painful. Our little 10-second shot that took us 5 hours. Satisfying cinematography. Now, to get things done, we're on to the rings. This is also a slow and arduous task. However, it's absolutely necessary. So piston rings include basically a top or compression ring, a second compression ring, and then the bottom, which is your oil control rings. So as for instance, on our top rings, what our exercise here is making sure that when we put the rings onto the pistons and they're down into the bore, you do not want the ends of the rings to be smashed together and touching. There needs to be a gap. And these instructions specify 4/1000ths of an inch per inch of cylinder wall. So this specific engine is 4-inch 155. So multiplying that times the 4/1000ths, 4.155 times 0.004, you end up at 16 and 16.6 thousandths of an inch clearance that needs to be here. So I'm gonna target 17 to 19. If I get too crazy, then I'm gonna have a lot of excess. I'm gonna lose compression because on the compression rings. If I'm too tight, as the cylinder wall temperature comes up, these will smash together and the pistons will lock up in the bore. So with that, I'm gonna get going. I have all of our rings now filed. They're ready to be installed onto the pistons and then subsequently into the block. However, I have to get the crankshaft in first, and to do that, I need to verify that all my oil clearances are going to be good. I've checked them once, but I'm gonna double check them before I do my final assembly. To do that, I just use a standard set of micrometers. So checking the rod main, we are at 2-inch, 178 thousandths. So I record 2-inch, 178. I will do the same thing with for the rods, and then that'll give me my clearance. And then obviously I'm gonna continue on here and do the block and get that number, make sure everything's cool. And then with that, we're gonna call it a day and pick up next time, and we'll get our pistons in and be that much closer to having a running motor by the end of the day.
Perfect, cool.